Hello, everybody. This is Nima.
This is Remy.
Do you want to?
We're off to a great start. I can't stop laughing.
This is episode 2 of our podcast.
The first one was about Star Wars, The Force Awakens. It went okay, we think. Please go check that out.
Yeah, it's out right now on. If you have iTunes, you can find it there. If you have Pocket Cast on Android or any platform, you can find it there. It's on SoundCloud as well. You know, like it, comment if you hate it, tell us why you hate it. Let us know what we can do to improve. You know, love, subscribe, whatever it is that whatever system does, do it.
Also today we got new microphone stands that hook up on the table, and that's pretty fancy, Nima. Yeah, thanks for bringing those.
We can move them and talk at the same time without hearing a squeaky sound.
Oh, so. Yeah, the squeaky sounds were epic.
Moving up in the world.
That's good.
We go from shitty to $20 mics.
So how's your week in Chicago? Did you watch anything cool?
You know, actually, we can talk about that way, because once we got done with the first podcast, we were immediately talking about what to do with the second one. Like immediately, like it was the next day that we were talking about what to do with it. And I sent Remy a list of movies I have seen, a list of movies I haven't seen, and trying to figure out. And Remy and I had seen this show that we're going to talk about, which is Sense8, a long time ago. It came out, I think, last August, or I don't know when it came out. It was last year.
Yeah, last year.
We had talked about it, but we never talked about it in detail. And Remy came up with the idea that we should talk about Sense8.
Have we not talked about this show already in detail?
I think we talked about it once, maybe one night we were out drinking. That's it.
Yeah, I remember I watched it because one day I came home and my wife was watching it. She was in episode 1, and I'm like, hey, this is the show Nima was telling me was really great. And then we just watched the whole thing. And then I just rewatched it.
Mm-hmm. Me too, and that's what I did. I was on a work trip in Chicago for 2 weeks, and my goal was to watch it every night when I got home from work, but just stupid things. I ended up going out, and by the time I got home, I was really tired.
Wait, so you did not watch it?
I did watch it. I know, I definitely did watch it, but I'm saying to anybody that's listening or anybody that's actually a fan of Sense8, just remember, I saw it once a year ago, and then the second time, super tired every episode.
For me, the second time was like, I just saw a lot of things that was just.
And
that was
please,
just great.
like,
I'm gonna turn your microphone down a little bit.
That's fine. We have to remember, because in episode 1 we mentioned the things that we were going to talk about during the episode, but we never did. We never touched base on them. But we have to talk about how the second time seeing this show is a lot better than seeing it the first time.
Yes,
it's one of the few things it's
way more nuanced the second time. I feel like it's so overwhelming the first time around that you miss a lot of small details that it's like when you watch them, when you see them eventually the second time, it's like, wow, these guys made a super cool show.
Really impressive the way they did it.
I feel like they're touching on like not just the human. What's the word?
Wait, hold off on all those thoughts, because we don't want to talk about it yet. First things first. Obviously, this is episode 2 of our podcast. It's still in the building. It's getting better, hopefully. And we're going to try different things. We're going to try different structures. But first things first, we're going to try to do this every week if we can.
So no, we can.
I like the
only
optimism.
takes an hour or 2 of our lives.
That's right.
Pretty easy.
So this week it's obviously about Sense8. Next week, our goal is to have a show out for you guys next weekend about Batman versus Superman.
The new movie that's coming out.
Yes. And then the following week after that, we're going to be doing House of Cards Season 4.
Yes, because that was brutal.
And honestly, the ideas of doing shows and talking about shows is all about Remy. So if these things turn out awful, just blame him for it. Because talking about something that's like 13 hours long and requiring me to remember it is going to be tough.
Yeah, I know. Especially
but we love
have
it.
An hour only. I know, it's great.
We're not talking about things that we don't love. We love these things. So do you want to get into it? Do you want to start talking about Sense8?
Gosh, yeah. I mean, first I wanted to ask you. I want to surprise questions like, what do you like about science fiction?
Dude, the thing, science fiction, excuse me.
And the reason I'm asking this question is this show is like on the line between science fiction and what could be. And
correct.
it's I don't want to say far-fetched or anything, but it definitely makes you think, and that's why I was going back to, they're making a show about the human condition is the word I was looking for. It feels like.
and they That's the Wachowskis, right? They made the first
Yeah.
movie that they made, not the first one, I think it was the second one. It was The Matrix, right? Everybody, for the longest time, like, what if The Matrix is real?
Yeah.
This kind of could apply to it. Like, whatever
Yeah.
they're talking about in this show,
Yeah.
it's absolutely
And
possible.
and it's only season 1. They just barely touched on what it is that this group of main character is experiencing.
Correct.
And so
I think here's the thing. To answer your question, sci-fi is a really broad category, and I love the fact that this show falls into it. This show is a great way to do sci-fi without doing lasers and doing crazy things.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
the acting. The main characters acting is great. None of these guys, none of these girls are big time yet.
No, they're not.
They're not. But they're such great. It's like they knew and all the chemistry between the relationships in the show they feel so genuine.
I
How
think
do
the
they-
most famous one out of all of them would be the mother of the cluster, which is Angelica, right?
Right.
I don't know who she is, but my girlfriend was saying she was really famous ages ago. And the
Yeah.
guy from Lost,
Yeah, the Indian guy.
Jonas.
Yeah,
Jonas is
Jonas.
probably the one that you recognize the face of the most. But
Yeah.
aside from the rest of them are, obviously they've been acting for a while.
Yeah.
So if you look into their career, you're like, oh yeah, I saw him in that. But
Yeah.
they're
Well,
not really that
these
famous.
two, especially Jonas, a crucial character in the story development. And
Well, let's go through the characters. There's Will, the cop from Chicago.
Well, let's go really quick. For someone who has not watched this, I mean,
What is it about?
Spoiler alerts, guys. But it starts with this scene, which is like so important. It tells you almost like how
So
everything
much, yeah.
works. So you see this lady, like there's drugs on the floor. She's in an abandoned building, and it's dark, and she's completely like she's not having a good time.
Yeah, she looks like she's been having not only not a good time, but it's been going bad for a while.
And then Jonas, appears out of nowhere. Right away, you have a sense that okay, this is weird. He was not there. It's a big room. How did he get there so quickly? So she's either imagining him or something bigger, and you can tell they're in love and blah blah blah, and she's struggling about something.
You can tell they're in love?
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't
even
pick
the
up on
words
that.
is-
Go
that's
ahead.
that's one thing. The one thing that was like that's iffy about the show for me is the dialogues. They're really, really like epic in like in a literature kind of way.
Yes, I completely agree.
And
But
that's
go
cool.
ahead. You
Anyways,
were describing that first.
So she's talking to Jonas. Angelica is talking to Jonas, and then he's like pushing her to do something, which is you learn it's like she's gonna give birth to these 8 characters. With that all these they form a cluster, and all these characters kind of wake up, and they start progressively throughout the 12 episode of the first season. They get glimpses of each other's lives, and they end up helping one another in the hard times they're having with their own
Correct.
lives.
and it's not just hard times. They do it such a good thing. When Remy mentions that Jonas appears in this first scene, it's not like a poof, he just appears. They do it really well because it's all in camera, and it's camera movements and editing that all of a sudden, Jonas
Yeah.
is right next to her.
Yeah, it's
like
in,
out of
in
nowhere.
your face
Yeah.
acting, like very personal, up close and all that. And then you get this other character which appears in the back, but in none of those first scenes and what's the word I'm looking for? Like
The
shots.
compositions, yeah.
You don't see Jonas and that new character who's obviously a bad guy. You never see them together.
You're talking about the Whisperer,
The
right?
Whispers, Mr.
Whispers,
Whispers.
okay.
Because Angelica can see both, but Whispers and Jonas cannot see each other, and we learn why later on. So all this is like the first 10 minutes. It's like, what is going on? This is so intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of like depressing and stuff, but at the same time, like it's got that element of like this might be cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then she gives birth. She gives birth before the bad guy.
Figuratively.
Like
Yeah.
yeah. And then really quickly, a minute at a time, you see each of the characters seeing her, seeing Angelica, and poof. Then it goes
Correct.
back to her, and there's something, she kind of kills herself to save everyone. We have no idea why, and then it cuts straight to the 8 characters' lives, one by one.
Like the characters in the cluster that she gave birth to for her second birth, as the show calls it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and this is something that we'll keep coming back to, once you're seeing the show the first time, episodes 1, 2, and 3 are kind of weird. They don't really represent the show as itself really well.
The first time around.
Yeah, but once you go back and rewatch it, even
Yeah.
that first scene becomes so important, and the tension
totally.
of it makes so much sense
Yeah.
that this is one of those few shows that I feel like it was designed to be rewatched, and it was designed to be rewatched as a whole.
Probably.
So Angelica is the cluster's mother. Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, these people are not born. The story goes that your cluster, if you're the type of human being that has the connection between,
if you're a Sense8 is how they call
yeah,
it.
if you're a Sense8 between your group, you have to be born on the same day, not same year, but
Yeah,
same
same
day in a
day.
year, and then you're given a rebirth, meaning your realization of your connection with your clusters becomes available to you at that rebirth.
Yeah,
and that's what happened. That's what this scene is.
Exactly, but they don't really explain why, and they don't really go back to the birthing. They go straight to their struggles, their individual lively struggles, and right away, each character that first episode, you know who's their closest person in their own real lives. But then
That is true.
they
Good job.
they have these freaky moments that they have no idea what's happening, but they all of a sudden are in the skin of one of the other 8 for like a few seconds, and they're like, where am I? Like, and that's cool. And that's what the first episode's about. They're trying to understand these things are happening. And then, obviously some characters are like more badass than others.
Yeah.
They're all very crucial, but
the way they do it, and I remember, I'm trying to think, in the first episode, a way that they try to convey that a character is not physically in that place, but is actually mentally in the same exact spot as the other character could be. Like they might as well physically be there.
Right.
They use mirrors a lot. Like in the reflection, you also see another character looking in a mirror as opposed to that one. And I
seeing
feel
the
like that
other.
was a really good job because they could have done it in a cheesy way, but they do it in an awesome way.
yeah, and the whole show looks great. Like the contrast between each of the stories.
Oh, God,
like
we have
you
to
get
talk about it too.
Wolfgang's is
Yeah.
like gray, rainy, and you got
Okay, Wolfgang. Let's talk about the characters, who they are. We have Will, the cop in Chicago. Wolfgang, who is a thief and a locksmith in Berlin.
yeah. I mean, wait.
Who
the
else
first
is
one
there?
was Will. He's a cop in Chicago. He knows a lot about cop things.
Correct.
And Will is also one of the crucial characters because that first episode you learn that he, in his past, when he was a younger boy, he had visions about of this girl, and
we don't know much about
we
that
don't know
girl.
much. We know that his dad is really like frowning upon that. He doesn't want his son to be crazy and stuff. So anyways, it seems like he pushed that away, for most of his life, and then these feelings are coming back now as he's having other visions and he thinks he's crazy. Then it goes to Riley, I think, right away. I'm not sure how.
Yeah, well, that's fine. So Riley's the DJ
she's
in England who's
in London,
from,
yeah.
She's from Iceland.
She's from Iceland.
Yeah.
Which later you learn that Iceland is
It plays a big part in the story.
yeah, for some reason. And yeah.
And then we have Will, Riley, Wolfgang, and then we have Sun, who's the Korean daughter of a huge business.
She's also a
mogul.
fighter,
Yeah,
and she's great. She's got some masters in economics.
that's right.
Little details that you pick up the second.
Super smart.
Super smart.
I'm looking at the names. We have Nomi.
Nomi, she is a transgender.
She's a transgendered boy to girl who's a hacker who got released. Who somebody else took the fall for her crimes. And this is basically, and our introduction to Nomi, isn't it her having sex with her girlfriend?
Yeah. With a rainbow dildo.
Massive
Which
dildo.
is really, really wet too.
Yeah.
Anyways, it just falls on the floor like fluff.
And then we have Van Damme in Africa, whose name is
Cappius.
Cappius.
He's like the ray of sunshine.
He's so happy all the time. Like, he probably has the worst life out of all of them, but he's so happy all the time.
I love the scene when he finally meets Kala, which is the Indian girl.
Oh, in front of TV?
Yeah, and that's like, and so keep in mind, like, so they by the end of that first season, they all understand that they are able to interact with each other's lives.
They can visit each other.
They can visit each other. They're slowly learning how to. But some of those characters, they don't meet eye to eye until the last tier of the season.
You're right.
So and Cappius and Kala, they meet, And the first thing, like, he's in his couch watching TV, watching more like a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Yeah, he's always watching Jean-Claude Van Damme. Go ahead.
Van Damme always comes back. And she appears, and he looks at her and he's like, "You're beautiful."
Oh, that's right.
And that just
Yeah.
makes me smile. He's like so genuinely.
And then she's like, "That's a massive TV."
Yeah.
And he knows the exact model number and what's
Yeah.
good about it.
And the conversations they have throughout the show, like that one scene where Kala and Capheus meet, it's like she asks so many of these guys, so many of these characters, they have so many different their lives are so different from one another that they just ask each other questions. Like Kala, the Indian girl, beautiful, asks Capheus, why do you live in a place that's not really like, you don't have a bed, you sleep on the couch, but you have this awesome flat screen TV. And
His answer was awesome.
I'm listening to her say that. I'm like, wow, yeah, that's a great question. Why do people have that? And his answer is simply like,
his answer was like something about the fact that you just go to sleep on the bed, but the TV entertainment makes you dream or something like
the
that.
bed holds you back here
Yeah.
in this shitty kind of place, but the TV takes you out into
Correct.
another world, which is another like metaphor for what they're going through.
Dude,
Like,
this show's
all these questions.
writings is amazing. Like
Yes.
those questions. And hold on, before we forget. So who are we? Leto, the
Leto.
Mexican, the
He's
gay
so
Mexican
good,
actor, in who's also hiding as a heterosexual guy.
Yeah, because he's an actor and he
Correct.
fears for his career being ended if someone was to find out he was gay.
So that's all 8 of them, right?
He's like one of my favorite actors in this show. He's so
I agree.
funny, dude.
He did such a good job.
Some of his one-liners are like, what? Awesome.
But you mentioned the questions. One thing I was going to say is in writing, one of the easiest way to show the audience or the reader what kind of personality a character has is to have him react to situations. And after watching the second season, and watching the first season the second time, I realized what an interesting way of writing this was, because they have characters reacting to a situation in somebody else's life because they can visit each other. And that is a really cool way. Like, that's how you know Van Damme always stays strong and stays positive, because he's able to ground everybody. No matter what's going on in their life, he can calm them down. Like,
That's true.
His scenes are, unless it's happening to him in Africa,
Yeah.
it's calm. Like,
Yeah.
he visits everybody and it's calm and happy and everything else. So I think that's a really cool way of writing it.
Yeah, gosh, this show, man. So Capheus, he's in Nairobi, Kenya,
I think so.
and he's going through struggles, like he's dealing with like gang violence and his mother being sick with AIDS, and he's trying to get medication and it's expensive, so he has to do some questionable things, but at the same time he's doing it. And at the same time, like there's this fight scene, like I think the third episode, I think, is when it starts being really
With
cool.
him and
He's able to like connect with his son, who's Korean, lives in Seoul, and she's some kind of martial art freak.
correct.
And,
Like at night, she not only does training, but actually she kicks ass.
and so Capheus was able to like tap into that, or she was able to tap into him. It's really well done too. When they connect on screen, like they really put
Correct.
thoughts into how they're gonna frame this, how they're gonna go back.
How
and
they
forth.
introduce the person and
Yeah.
what happens in the cuts.
Gosh,
It's such a good job.
So
I
badass,
agree.
all of it. Anyways, so then you have, Sun, her big struggle right now is that she has a brother who she is running their father's company with.
Correct.
Their father's the CEO and they're running things, and she knows that he's like involved in embezzlement.
Correct.
Her brother. And so she takes the fall for it when the authorities come in, goes to jail. And as all this is going on, they all, start communicating with one another. Another character is who? Kala?
Kala, yeah.
She's, for now, in season 1, she's the most boring character. I'm sorry to say that.
I don't think so.
However, I
Go ahead.
think her science background is going to
Come
help
in second
tremendously because you learn that a lot of it has to do with like this like fancy chemical in your brain, and a lot of it is neuroscience too, and they're starting to like talk about that too, which is cool too, because I think neuroscience is like one of the most interesting like sciences nowadays with all the technology that's coming out for it. So I feel like this show is really fucking staying so relevant on what's going on right now, like transgender issues,
Correct.
racism.
But it handles those things so well.
I know, and maybe it's too early to say this in this podcast, but I really feel like and I don't know the brothers who made this.
They're sisters now. They're both
Yeah,
transgender.
that's right.
They're both,
That's right.
which I just found out.
They both are?
Yeah,
I thought it was just one of them.
No, it was Lana first,
Yeah.
and then Larry. Is it Larry? Whichever one was. Just
Yeah.
a few days ago, announced that he's transgender as well. That came out as Lily.
Cool.
So it's Lily and Lana.
Props to them.
Absolutely.
But
And I feel really sad for them that they had to live a different life for this whole long. This
it's all right. They're doing better
30
now.
plus. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I think what they were trying to. It really seems like they have this huge message about
Correct.
peace and equality, and that even though we are all from different parts of the world and have very different lives, we can work together and be happy and get shit done.
Correct.
That was like, to me, it was like one of the main like message of
I agree,
this
but
first
think about
season.
it. They've been trying to say that for ages now. Like even
With the
with
Matrix,
Matrix,
they were
they've been
saying
trying to say
that.
that.
Yeah,
Even
I guess
with
so.
Cloud Atlas, they were saying that how messages
Not
and
seen that yet.
personalities. You should. It has a lot of connections with this show.
Yeah,
It's that things transcend time and generations, and But I agree, they did a really good job, and
Yeah.
like obviously those two are the ones that get the most credit for the show because they're big names and they had a huge part. Obviously, there was more than that. I think there was 4 directors as a whole.
Yeah.
And each director, I think, took a region that they directed it.
Oh yeah,
But
it's right, because that's
when
how-
I realized that it's so impressive that when they cut between South Korea and Africa,
it's so good.
it's not bad. It's not
No,
horrible. It
it's-
works.
Yeah, it
It's
does.
so impressive.
It really does. It's really impressive.
God. Obviously, we're a huge fan of the show, and like it's one of those shows that, if I'm not mistaken, when they released it last year, they released a review, previews to different journalism outlets, but they only released 3 episodes, if I'm not mistaken, and then all the reviews came out based on those 3 episodes, which is sad because this is a show
Yeah, you can't just
that
judge on
picks up
3.
so well by the time it's over,
Yeah.
and then the second time you watch it, the first 3 episodes become that much more amazing.
Well, the by the end of the show, it was like a lot of cool camera angles, a lot of like
God.
very beautiful scenery and
Yes.
stuff like that. And I feel like the good acting really kept it together.
Yeah.
Because other than that, it was kind of like, all right. By the ending, cool whispers and Will, and he has to be sedated and stuff
Yes.
like that.
Which I still have questions on, but we can talk about that later
What are your
on.
questions about that?
But that's later on because I want to see what's the point. Is he going to be sedated forever?
Well,
Because she does put him under again. as soon as
That's
he wakes up.
that's because if he's awake, then Mr. Whispers, the bad guy, is going to be able to find him and then find
Correct.
all of them. And then his mission, Mr. Whispers, you don't know why, you don't know if he works for someone, he probably does, but he wants to find this cluster and destroy all of them.
Is it to destroy, or he just wants to control the breeding and create more? He wants to destroy.
We don't know that.
Okay.
We don't know that. We just know that there's an organization working to eliminate the clusters of Sense8s.
Correct.
Because there's not just one cluster going on. There's a few of them at the same time. We just know about this one. What if they do another group next season?
They won't. The only reason I know that is because the table readings that everybody has sneak peeked, it's the same group.
Oh, okay.
It's all the same group.
Yeah.
And the one thing we should mention is this ties into this sci-fi genre of the show is that this group of people, the Sense8s, they're supposedly either you can take it as the next evolution of human beings or a separate group of human beings that have always existed. They have the connection between each other, just like animals and birds have that connection within each other.
Yeah.
So that's what it is, and the Whispers wants to either control that or get rid of this group of human beings, because obviously if this group exists, the regular human beings that are you and I
That's what
are
Jonas
far
was
less
saying.
powerful. Correct.
Yeah, that's what Jonas was saying. But there was also a hint of like, hey, if you let go of your fears, if you let go of your secrets, if you let go of all this like BS that we all know is there, or we don't really want to admit it, then you can become like, I don't want to say a superior being, but I think that's like that had this tone. This show is like, hey, let go. Like,
He comes off a little bit superior though when he explains what Sense8
Jonas?
Yeah.
Jonas seems kind of like a dick, but
But
he's
he
still a
helps out
crucial
every-
part.
He's
He's a crucial part. Well, who else did we? we didn't. So Wolfgang is from Berlin, Germany.
You love Wolfgang, right?
He's fucking badass.
I liked him a lot more second time I watched.
Yeah, no, he's pretty badass. I mean, I like all of them the second time around.
I like Nomi less.
Capheus, Nomi, to that character, that's like I think the best acting came from Nomi.
Dude, I know, I agree, and I also think when it comes to the story and what I accept as important roles in the story, I don't think she was that important in the first season. But at the same time, I think that's a good thing.
Dude, by the end of season 1,
she's doing the hacking.
It was her and Will saving. That's them two to save Riley, you know.
But dude, I watched that show and I had no idea she wasn't actually, like, the actor was also transgendered.
Yeah.
I was like, this girl's doing a really good job playing a transgender person. And then I realized it's a transgendered person. I was like, this fucking person's doing amazingly. Like, and I was so happy for everybody to do it as real as opposed to doing somebody that's fake and acting like it.
But how did they, that's my question to them, like, to the producers of this show and directors.
How did they find them?
Not just the casting, but like how were these actors, especially the ones that were involved in love relationships, how, to me, it's like those people have real relationships and they brought them in together and taught them how to act, because as far as acting goes, those relationships, all of them were so believable.
I agree.
Like the kissing, the sex scenes, like all of it was like... Dude,
speaking of the sex scene, did you know that scene was the first scene they filmed?
Like the all sex of them as a group, where they had their orgy-ish. Yeah. Yes, there's an orgy in this show.
Yeah, and
that was the first. That's probably to loosen all of them up.
Dude, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
But you couldn't tell by the time they're doing it, they're connected. Like, and I know throughout the shooting, they're usually with each other. If I'm not mistaken, they travel from one place to another, and then they divide out to go do their scenes and then travel. So I think they built an actual connection. And you know what I just remembered? You said in the first episode when they're introducing the fact that they quickly get glimpses of each other's lives and they don't know why it's happening.
Like, who's that person in my bedroom?
The connection or the scene that has Will and Riley.
Yeah, which one? There's so many of those.
No, I'm saying that in episode 1 when they're first, like when Will is getting a glimpse into her life, he's sleeping and he hears the techno music.
Yeah,
it's such a cool scene. I love that.
That was really cool. That was really cool. And they were the first one to actually see each other.
Correct.
Will and Riley, which they're pretty much the two in that cluster. They're like they're like the core of that cluster right now.
Correct.
And they're falling in love. Jonas, not just Jonas. Jonas, it's not Jonas that warns them that you shouldn't fall in love with anybody in your cluster because it screws things up. That lady that Riley talks to, who's also a Sense8 from Jonas' cluster, warns her about Jonas.
Does she mention that she's from Jonas's cluster?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And so, there's something, and then you start doubting if Jonas is a good guy or not.
Correct. But he proves that he's a good guy by the end.
Yeah, right? By the end, he kind of helps out as much as he can. Whispers is a great actor, too. Terrifying looking guy. He's this mad scientist. He's got helicopter rides for free and nice cars, a huge credit card account.
Yeah.
And so he's just traveling the world to find these Sense8 people and lobotomize them.
Basically, yeah. Because, and that's a good thing that you're saying.
But why?
Because
but
they're
at the same time,
that thing in their brain, remember? That's how all of these people have that connection, that their brain has a growth in it that connects one part to the other.
Well, they also talked about this thing, ceruleum.
Yes, I wrote it down somewhere.
Like that.
You're right.
Some chemicals is for the reason why they're all connected like that.
Correct.
But Whispers, all right. So because that got me thinking, is it one rich organization trying to get rid of this like different kind of humanity because they're scared of it? Yes, but at the same time, you get Mr. Whispers that is able to tap in them.
Correct, because he's one of them.
So if he's one of them, is that organization led by people just like them who are trying to like control?
Oh, that's interesting.
Or maybe those people are trying to like...
Just hired Whispers.
Who knows? Maybe they're...
But Whispers is a little bit different, right?
Whisper, what do you mean? He's a doctor.
The way he connects to them. Because the rest of them, if they look at you, they don't have the powers that Whispers does. Because Whispers, if you make eye contact, he can, from that point on, he can see what you see.
Yeah, but he can see what you see. Like, he makes eye contact with Will in the last episode.
Yeah.
Like, the last half of the last episode, That scene is great, by the way.
Yeah.
Like you don't know what's gonna happen. You're like, no, okay, they've been warned. Do not look at this guy in the eye, because otherwise he'll see your soul and destroy you. But it's worse than that, and that's why they have to keep Will sedated.
Correct.
Whisper's able to see Will's minds and thoughts, and because of that, he'll be able to find all of them.
Correct.
Because Will's connected with all of them. They've all connected with all of them with some pretty cool scenes. Like I thought my favorite episode was episode 3 with the fight with Capheus is happening. But episode 10, man.
Okay.
It's the
For
same
me, it's
episode.
9. Go ahead.
Really?
Yeah.
What happens in that one?
I think episode 9 was, for me, it's when the show picks up. I think it's the episode that they start showing Iceland and those amazing shots in Iceland, and they start focusing more on Riley.
Yeah.
Because once they start focusing on Riley, and this is what I was going to say, is I don't know if Riley's my favorite character, but I would say she's the most powerful one out of all of them. But go ahead. What happens in episode 10 you were talking about?
Well, it's that one episode with the music and the birth at the end of each one of them, and they're all like are able to like see how they were born, and then Riley passes out.
Correct. And here's the thing. This is exactly what I was going to say. Riley, when she's feeling emotionally, let's say, down, or something's happening to her where she's having an emotional peak, if it's negative or positive, it's so strong that if you notice every time it happens, she literally pulls everybody in. Like all of a sudden, all of the Sense8s are with her, and that's insane. Because the rest of them just they do one with the other, and that's it.
And
but
sometimes you see 3 of them together and stuff.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And I was thinking that today, watching the last few episodes. Out of all of them, it seems that she has the one that has gone through the most crazy, pre-cluster life. Like she that experience she had with her husband and baby and all that's completely traumatic. And I remember seeing the end of this season the first time around. I'm like, man, she's totally gonna be the mother of the next cluster. But maybe not. Maybe it's gonna be Kala. Maybe it's, who knows? But because Jonas tells Will at one point, like, I'm the father of the father of my cluster. I thought it was just a mother. So is Jonas the father of this cluster?
I don't know.
I was trying to figure this out.
If anybody knows the answer or theories, let us know. But
did we go through all the characters yet?
I think we have all the main characters. We have
Wolfgang, Capheus, Kala. Oh, Kala's she's from India.
Yeah.
Mumbai. She is a scientist.
Correct.
And she doesn't do much.
No, her story, her importance to
her
season
struggle.
1 is she's getting married to somebody that she actually does really love, or at least like, and the importance to her story is her connection to Wolfgang in season 1. Because Wolfgang and her visit each other, and just from visiting each other, there's a strong attraction.
Yeah. But also, that just brings me to a point. Like, all of their struggles, especially Kala's, her struggle is like, she is about to get married because in India, it's the tradition, and like, you get married off. And so she's struggling with this part of the world who thinks that way about marriage and stuff. And I thought that was really cool because she's struggling. That's her big struggle.
You're saying their struggles are each important to the locale that they're in, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, Wolfgang's trouble is like pretty epic, but at the same time, it's freaking Berlin. It might be like, they might.
Like he says, fighting is easy. Fighting is what he does.
Yeah.
That's so badass.
Yeah, I love when he visits, when him and, oh, by the way.
I don't want you to forget. You were going through the characters.
So Wolfgang, Capheus, Kala, Leto, we went through him. Will, we went through him.
Riley,
we went through her. There's 2 more. Sun, and then.
Dude, okay, I have a listener in front of me. Why am I doing this? Capheus, Sun, Nomi.
That's
Kala,
it. That's 8.
Riley, Wolfgang, Leto, and Will. Yeah.
Yeah. So Nomi gets, she goes into the hospital and Dr. Whispers almost got her, and then Will saves her.
Man, Nomi gets in trouble a lot in that show.
Yeah, at the beginning it was her like, oh, she's gonna die. Shoot, what was I gonna say?
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. So the episode 10 where it was really important, because I think in episode 10 or 11 or 9 or one of these 3, I think 10, a lot of the main characters in that cluster that haven't met yet meet that episode.
Correct.
And the weirdest thing, and I think it's setting something for the story later on, when Will and Wolfgang meet, Wolfgang's a dick to Will, and he just walks away.
What are you talking about? Tell me, what do you
They
mean?
meet for the first time. Like there's that scene, the opening scene of that is I think Wolfgang's walking in that crooked kind of like beautiful looking pillars and stuff like that, where he made that deal with the jeweler.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
but I barely
and
remember
he's
about it.
walking around and he's seeing the other characters like walk by, and really quickly you see them, and then he gets in front of this like Jewish memorial thing about the Holocaust, and then Will appears and he reads it, and then they have the whole interaction, and Wolfgang is like,
Do you know why?
I think they're trying to show that I don't know. I think it might be an anti-American kind of small thing.
I don't think so.
Well, who knows?
Here's the thing. I'm interjecting a lot of beliefs into the writers. I don't know if they even went that deep, but if they're saying,
I'm having the same thing. It's like, why did they really think of all of this, or they just
dude,
happened?
if they're saying that Sense8s are like basically you can think of it as a connection between us and animals, right? The gap where they have the connections that animals have that we don't.
Yeah, that we lost as well.
Then would that be that Wolfgang and Will are supposedly two alphas that are trying to figure out if each one of them can be the alpha of the group? Like the alpha of the wolf?
That's a good point. I don't know.
But neither one of them is a bad character in any way. They're really
but
good
Wolfgang
characters.
was a dick. Wolfgang's also a murderer.
Wolfgang's always a dick, though.
He murdered his dad. He murdered a lot of people in this, which was so badass, by the way.
Correct.
So it's like, who knows what's going to happen there? But with that one scene, I feel like they were trying to like start building tension between some of the characters.
You're saying something's going to happen
to make the story happen. But maybe, again, we're all speculating. So if you guys ever listen to this show, we have no idea what you're doing. We just love it, and we're just having fun speculating about what it is that you're trying to do with it. And
I'm going to post this to Reddit as well.
Fascinating.
And I really hope it doesn't get downvoted, because I know on Reddit, people are really active about this show. And they have their own theories. So let us know if our theory is just awful, or if it helps out any of your guys' theories.
We don't really have any theories. We're just talking about what could happen, how they're setting up. I love the storytelling.
I agree.
My favorite part of the show is the story.
It's so unique. Yeah.
It's like, it's so smart. I feel like it's not like some kid writing a cool story. It's like they've thought about this.
I agree.
They're trying to catch people's attention with this show. Like it's really hitting some spots that are like be good to one another or something like that.
And it's smart is a perfect excuse me. Smart is a perfect way to describe it. Like it's not smart in a way like Aaron Sorkin, it's not witty. It doesn't have fancy words and fancy conversations.
Yeah.
But it's smart in such a deep level.
It's the storytelling.
Yeah.
The small details that I'm sure watching this show a third time, I'm going to see stuff that I was like, oh, wow.
I agree.
And I think it would be all in the dialogue the third time, because the third time. That second time around, I was paying more attention to the dialogues, and a lot of information there. Mm-hmm. It's pretty important. So as far as the acting goes, all these 8 actors, impeccable. They're secondary actors, and by that I mean each one of these 8 actors have a close friend or a relative. Like Wolfgang is his friend,
which I love. His friend.
He's great.
Felix, is that his name?
Felix, and then they all have their Kala is her dad. Kyle, it's his father. Riley, it's her father. That makes me think a lot of the characters have similar mom's gone, or they never met their dads or something like that.
The family thing is really, really important to the show.
It must be.
Talking about if episode 10, because I thought that was episode 9, but if episode 10 is the one that has the orchestra with the music and the message of birth.
Yeah.
Did you pick up that, which makes it really sad, did you pick up that Nomi was the only one that didn't have a natural birth?
Yeah.
Which makes it, because C-sections are fine. They're totally fine. There's nothing sad about them, but the way they made it, I got really sad. I was like, holy, because she's the only one that didn't have a natural birth, and they put it in there for a purpose.
That's another thing. Are they that calculated?
They are. They absolutely are.
Gosh, brilliant.
Seriously. And
so that
can I
means
just say
something.
that sequence was amazing.
It was pretty good. It was moving, to say the least. It's same for the very last scene, man. Let's not describe it, but after, you know which one I'm talking about? The scene at the end when you see all of them on the boat.
Yeah. Why don't we
Great.
want to talk about it? It's a
I
year
don't know.
old.
I
We
guess
can
there's
talk
no
about it.
spoilers. Yeah, spoiler alert, whatever.
But they're not physically.
They're not.
It's just it's
Yeah.
only Will
and
Nomi.
By the way,
not Nomi.
the scene when
Riley.
they touch in person for the first time,
I,
Kyle
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
Riley,
yeah.
it's like they both have this like something, you know, like it's just very intense and pleasureful.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't wait for season 2.
I can't wait either. You know, we're talking about how there's different directors for different regions, and I don't really remember who got what region. I don't think the Wachowskis got Mexico. I don't think they did. I think there were Chicago and maybe London and Berlin.
You know,
I don't think they got Mexico.
that the Mexico one was a little bit off compared to the rest of them.
Beautiful when it comes to color.
So colorful.
Yeah.
So colorful. I
Dude.
totally saw that. Super colorful. Like, and I was like, wow, this looks kind of different than all the other
Correct.
Storylines, individual storylines of the characters. I'm like, wow, this really looks beautiful.
You know what scene made me realize that? The scene that Wolfgang visits Leto and they have that fight.
Yeah,
When he's going
that's
to
exactly when he gets out of this car with his blue shirt. It's like
Dude.
so badass, slow mo and everything. Throws a cigarette like that. It's so cool.
Can I just say that we know the Wachowskis can do fight scenes and action really well? Because, you
Yeah.
know, they probably have one of the most all-time famous action movies
Yeah,
ever with The
sure.
Matrix. But the action in this movie is this show is so small that it only helps us carry the story. It's not there to be fancy or anything like that.
Yeah.
So when when Wolfgang is visiting Leto, and Wolfgang and Leto actually build a connection throughout the show that they help each other in a way that only they know it best. Leto knows how to act and how to lie.
Well, they don't meet until episode 10.
No, I'm saying like visit each other.
Right, they don't visit each other until episode 10.
Oh, that's right.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, in that one episode is when they build it.
Is when I think okay, so
Leto helps Wolfgang first.
yeah,
Yeah.
by lying so he can get the so good, so
Correct.
good.
And then like that's when they go to Mexico, it's such a cool scene, and I will never forget as far as fight choreography, when Wolfgang is beating the shit out of that Mexican dude,
Yeah.
it's awesome. It is really when you think about the things that he does as far as an action movie choreography, it's badass. Like
It's like really quick. It's like 3-4
that's
shots.
what I'm saying.
boom,
Once you
done.
realize what he does in those 3-4 shots, like when the Mexican guy goes to punch him and he grabs the arm, and he grabs the arm not only once but 3 times before he punches him again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was like,
I
what?
remember that. I saw that. I was like, wow, I want to learn how to do that.
I was impressed, and I kind of wish the rest of the show was as colorful as Mexico, but I get why they didn't do it. Every person has their own vision, and as far as the
Yeah.
visuals of each location, it has to help the story.
Yeah. I mean, Lito's an actor. He lives the very like fancy,
Over the top, dramatic life.
Dude, I don't know if Cassius and Lito haven't met. Have they?
I don't remember that meeting at all. Because I know Nomi and Leto meet, and that's a great scene. That's a really touching
great
scene.
Yeah, that's a great scene. I don't know. That's a good one. I would assume that everyone meet one another, but maybe not.
I was thinking about that as I was watching the show. I was trying to keep track of who meets who, but I got lost.
I don't know if Lito's met Riley.
This awkward silence is both of us thinking. I have no idea. I don't think they do. God, I wish there was somebody that spent the time to figure out the diagram so we can just Google it and find out. I don't think they meet at all.
Yeah, we'll get better at this.
But let's talk about Leto and Nomi meeting, because that when you're talking about actors and connecting and such a good way of acting, that scene is so
When they're in the
emotional.
museum?
Yeah, and sad and just like
It's-
I believe that whoever played Nomi actually feels that way. That sucks.
That's what I'm saying. The acting is so incredible. They're like they're so in character. Wow.
Which
Yeah.
makes me sad because this show didn't get renewed for second season until a long time after it got released.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, so it would
Netflix
release-
usually renews things for second season.
When was this
Pretty
released?
quickly. Let me find out. Keep talking as I'm googling
But
this.
I'm trying to wonder why it didn't do as
Because
well.
you know, House of Cards got renewed quickly.
Yeah, but even House
Orange
of
is the
Cards
New
is
Black.
House of Cards is like it's another smart show. It's a lot about dialogue and stuff. It's like it's not easy to follow. There's not much action either. But
June 5th,
Sense8's got
2015.
so much.
But
The new season comes out June 6th.
No, June 5th was the first episode. So June 5th, 2015 of last year.
Oh, okay. So it's been a year. So they're going to do, is it coming out?
No, they haven't even started filming it. They're just doing table reads right now.
Are you kidding me?
But I'm okay with them taking their time.
Well, I mean, the character's going to get older.
Oh, this is your water I'm drinking.
The actors, you know. Anyways.
One of the things is, and I imagine that this is why they didn't get it renewed so quickly, is the Wachowskis are at the point in their creative life that they're making things that are really weird. Like when you think about it, as far as mainstream audience, because they're making big budget movies and big budget shows, but they don't go and follow the big budget audience at all. Like their last movie bombed, and it was, from what I hear, it was really weird.
Yeah.
Jupiter Ascending. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard it was really weird and maybe even bad. But I think one of the things is with them, now that I watch the show, it's obvious they need time to tell a story.
Right.
Like a simple
you were telling me that
movie,
last year, the first time you watched this.
It's not, a 2-hour movie is no longer enough for them. So that's why they do a 13-hour movie, or as what
Do you think Sense8 is like their little brainchild right now at the moment? Do you think they're doing that to tell something bigger?
I think so.
Not just like, let's make this movie in this quick story in an hour and a half. Like, no, let's take our time and make this epic show.
Yeah. Because you realize, like, after 13 hours, this is a really good job writing for characters and the backstory.
Yeah.
It fits them really well.
And the beauty of the show itself, the frames and all that, it's just cinematography is great too. And even like down to like the subtle comical things, because that show, there's a lot of seriousness. Like Riley's character is super serious. There's nothing quirky or funny that she does. However, Leto does a bunch of funny shit. Like he's always doing funny stuff.
He's the goofy one in the group.
He's the goofy one in the group. Who else is goofy in that group? Capheus is pretty goofy, but it's more of like, hey, it's cool, guys. Everything's gonna be okay. And I guess you need that too. I
would say Leto and Capheus are the most positive one out of all of them.
Yeah.
Because everybody else has something sad going on, but Capheus and Leto make you smile or at least laugh.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty cool because you got like Wolfgang was just kind of like a James Bond-ish kind of character, pretty freaking badass.
Does Felix make it?
We don't know.
Felix was such an over-the-top character that the episode of first...
So good.
When the show started, I was like, this is ridiculous. Why would he be like this? But as the episodes keep going, I'm like, I fucking love the guy. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of what else we need to touch base on. Was episode 10 also the episode that it's July 4th in America?
Yeah.
Such a great scene.
Yeah,
because
and I think
that's Will and his father connecting.
Yeah, and the same time as the concert.
Excuse me, guys. I liked the 2 wedding planners in India.
Yes, they were so funny, dude.
Yeah.
They were just giggling. Same thing. It's another relationship there that's like so genuine. It's like
there's a whole backstory behind it that we don't see.
Yeah, how did the directors or who's in charge casting, directing is all? How did they get such good takes? Is it a lot of editing? Do they just let the people ramble and do it all in the box
but
later?
At the same time, it's hiring the right people and obviously writing the right script.
So casting did awesome then. The people who casted those people did perfect.
And you know what? Now that we're in India, the India thing was really well. Like you didn't like the wedding scene. I think it was a great Bollywood.
Oh yeah,
scene.
I understand why they did that. The first time I was like, what is this, man? Is this a musical?
I think.
But then again, that's what they do in India. So it's like
it's true. They're
really trying to like make you feel like you're there.
Each place.
Germany,
correct.
India.
I think with India, they tackled really interesting subjects. With the whole marriage thing, they tackled it really well.
And also God or no God.
Correct.
Religion. Yeah, that's true.
With the old coming into the new. And those are all really interesting things. And I feel like those are really relevant to each location. Excuse me, everybody, for the coughs. Because with Korea, they have the business thing and the family thing, which I found out is a real thing. Like in business, in that part of Asia, honor is really important.
Right.
Like embezzlement is a big deal.
Yeah.
Taking a fall for your family is a big deal. Yeah. Which doesn't really happen here in the US at all.
There's one scene with Sun when she's, I think, her first night in jail. She's walking to a field, and then she sees Angelica far away, and then they walk towards each other, and then Angelica becomes her dead mom. His son's mom passed. And that same episode, whenever that happens, there's another scene with someone that lost their mom. I think it might have been Riley or someone. We don't know what happened to Will's mom, right? Unless I missed it.
I don't think we do. His dad's really sick though.
Yeah, that's right. Remember what happened
He has the back thing.
when when Wolfgang's about to go and just really fuck some shit up.
You mean
And after he's done killing that one guy, his uncle, Cal is sitting right there, and she just really sees it. She just witnessed him murder this guy. And
Yeah.
then you're left wondering, is that story over between them? Is she gonna be like, I can't have this, or
I don't
just
think so.
makes it deeper?
And you know what? That scene's really good because
Wait,
before
hold
that
on.
scene,
Are they gonna make a season 2? I'm
Yeah.
really worried.
No, they absolutely are. It's already renewed for season 2, but it took the
Oh.
longest. As far as I know from Netflix's history, that was the biggest gap between a show airing
But
and
it
being
aired a
renewed
year
for-
ago. You said June 15th,
Yeah, but
2015.
Netflix renews the show means they buy a second season
Like,
usually
before the first one's
fairly
over?
quickly. Yeah. So this one took a long time, and I think that's just because it's
They haven't started shooting yet. They didn't want to.
no. It took a while, and I think they're doing the table reads right now, or recently they started doing table reads, meaning all the actors they
Yeah.
bought the second season, and now they're practicing before they actually go out to shoot.
And
Because
then,
if you look online, you can find little clips of them doing the table reads.
that brings me to a good. You probably know a lot more than me about this, but I'm trying to understand.
Go ahead.
Check. Oh man, I'm just understanding something.
About your
The
audio?
past hour, I've been raising my voice up because I thought that was you. So
Am I yelling the whole time now?
no, you're very quiet, but I'm really loud. So that might be bad.
It's all right. We'll keep recording, and then watch this scenario. We'll do
Yeah.
another one.
Yeah.
But you can fix it, right?
Yeah, kind of. I've been peeking. I thought it was you peeking, but
How about
anyways.
this? We'll take a 2-minute break. We'll be back. And you guys won't even notice, but we'll say that we're back. So we'll be back shortly.
We don't need to. We're good.
Are you sure?
I just fixed it. Yeah.
No, I'm saying like if we need to go back and hear what we had like for last hour or whatever it was.
Oh well, we've been doing this for almost an hour now. This is already an hour. I know.
You better be able to fix this.
I
It's
would
not a
be
big
able
deal.
to fix it, but is 1 hour enough to talk about this?
No,
show?
let's. We can keep going until we don't have anything to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to look at my notes. What else I have? I think I was saying that the editing is really impressive. Oh man, excuse me for the cough.
Yes. Dude.
Thanks, man. It hurts my feelings. So your favorite episode was episode 10. Mine was
I
episode
think
9.
so.
What happens in episode 3 that you like so much? The fight?
I think that's when Sun and Capheus, interact for the first time, and it's like Capheus tapping into Sun's abilities to kick ass.
What episode was the second time that they tap in and do that fight scene? Was that episode 10 too?
I don't know.
When she chops off the dude's arm?
Yeah, that was pretty epic right there. I think so. Well, maybe.
See those epic shots in episode 9 that you thought were meh? I love those epic shots. The helicopter shots spinning around the girl and everything.
You know I've noticed something, like a lot of those fight scenes, like action scenes, like a lot of these people are dying. Are they? I mean,
What do you mean? Who dies? Not
lot
many
of
people
the-
die in this show.
a lot of guards,
Who dies? Who?
throughout the show,
Not many people die, even as far as extras. Like when you compare it to
Capheus kicks so much ass.
well, yeah, but it's not like a Transformers death toll.
No.
You're clicking buttons.
Yeah, I know. The audio is gonna be weird.
Is it really? Great.
So it's not gonna be too bad. Gosh, I feel like I'm done talking about this already, but I know there's more to it. I really wanted to touch on how good the storytelling is, and I really think that the sisters are trying to really really make something that's meaningful and very pertinent to the human condition, or
I agree.
why we are here, and darkness and light. And
See, here's the thing. I think because you're saying, we have more to say, but we don't know what to say at this point. It's because there's so much about this show. It's so layered and it's so deep. So here's what I think we should do for when second season comes out. Let's do 2 podcasts for second season.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's do first half and second half. That way we can do 6 hours of content, talk about it, 6 hours of content, and then talk about it.
Okay.
Because we don't want to do an episodic thing where we're like, all right, let's talk about episode 1.
Yeah.
But we also don't want to do the whole thing. Let's talk about season 2.
That might be fun to do that. We do a podcast per episode.
Do you
half
think we'll
an
have
hour,
enough
really?
to talk about? We can try
Another
it. But
thing that would be interesting, I get a lot of my ideas and theories when I'm watching it, and I have these epiphanies like, oh wow, did they try to do this for this or that? And I have awesome questions.
But I mean, people do that. They do that for Walking Dead. There's
Really?
Yeah, there's podcasts for every episode.
Are you serious? People do podcasts? That's cool.
If I'm not mistaken, it might be even an official thing. It's a show that gets turned into a podcast. Like after every episode, they have a show to talk about it or something.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing with Better Call Saul.
Have you started watching that?
I'm like 3 or 4 episodes into it.
Yeah, I after watching Sense8 again, it's like I really appreciate the depth and how much work and thinking they put into making a show like that. They're like the storytelling coupled with how the skills of cinematography, I guess, and acting and stuff like that. Like, it's a deep show. It's really entertaining. Something like Better Call Saul is like a different kind of entertaining.
I agree. And I think Better Call Saul, which is a spinoff from Breaking Bad, I think Breaking Bad was probably the show that started this whole thing. Because we have...
Started what whole thing?
Where the quality of content of shows has gone so far up. Because there was Wire before that, there was Sopranos, but I don't think they ever jump-started this whole thing where shows are now as good as movies, if not better.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have... What do we have? We have Game of Thrones now, we have House of Cards. These are really high-production, amazing shows.
Yeah, they look great. But so, to close it up, House of Cards Season 4. We're just going to talk about Season 4.
Correct.
We might tap into the first few seasons, but... I think we might have some interesting things to say about this. I kind of want to learn more about the people who made this show and see what their background is.
For House of Cards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe talk about that a little bit to see, their background and what their angle might be with this show. Are they trying to say something with this show? Who knows? It's just that last season's brutal.
Don't tell me too much about it. I'm still not done with it yet.
So good.
I'm 5 or 6 episodes into it.
It's good.
Every episode, I don't want to say anything, but every episode I'm watching it, I'm like, Claire's going to hook up with that person now. And she doesn't do it. I'm like, Claire's going to hook up with that person and she doesn't do it. But yeah, so here's what we're going to do. Let us know what you think about this episode. Like, comment. Let us know how we can improve it. Next episode is coming next weekend.
Yep.
And it's going to be Batman versus Superman. And the following weekend, we're going to be talking about the House of Cards. Yeah.
Do you like I like Batman. I like the character. I didn't really like the past 3 movies that much. But Superman, I've never, ever been a fan of.
Have you seen the last Superman movie?
No.
You should watch it. Well, you have to watch it now. Watch it this week so we can...
Yeah, my friend Sarab tells me to watch that. He loves Superman.
No, it's really important because...
Oh, I have to watch the old Superman movie?
No, you have to watch...
The one that just came out?
Yeah.
It's with the same actor? Why do I have to watch it?
It's really connected. The two are really connected.
The storyline?
Yeah, like super connected. Like the reason...
I think I have it on
this
Netflix
is something that you'll know. The reason Batman is really upset and like deep down inside angry and afraid of Superman is because of what happens in movie 1, which is Man of Steel.
Yeah, well, aliens come by and try to kill Earth or something like that.
Well, yeah, but
Batman's like, "Oh, you fucked up. You brought bad people over."
No, not even that. It's Superman himself, because then there's no way I can explain it to you. But
I'll just watch it.
Yeah, in Man of Steel, the one thing that you realize is how scary it would be to have somebody with that much power on Earth. Like I'm talking about the planet Earth.
Yeah,
maybe should not have somebody with that much power.
Yeah.
Like they did a really good job of showing that. So watch that, and we really appreciate you guys listening and spending the time. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, we probably don't even know you, but thanks for listening. We're just two dudes from Phoenix, and we love talking about shows, and we're like, hey, let's record it for people to listen to, and we'll see what happens from there.
We're gonna have guests and stuff coming up soon because people want to take part in it. They want to participate. Maybe
we might try new formats. Like there's a show that my cousin and Nima both really like a lot.
It's a podcast.
Yeah. Okay, it's Serial, right?
Yeah.
And they both talked to me very enthusiastically about it. And maybe we'll do it as in there'll be three of us, and I've never even heard of this show. And I just like listen to them talk about it and interfere with questions, which might make things interesting. So yeah, stay tuned for that. We'll do that eventually. I can't wait to get some food right now.
I know, I'm pretty hungry too. Yeah. All right, well, thank you everybody. I'm Nima.
I'm Remy.
And everybody have a good night.
See ya.